If you're living in the United States and you're not consistently earning at least $100,000 per year, a six-figure income minimum, that's like living in the United States and not being able to make a decent living. It's kind of like walking into a grocery store and then sitting down on a bench and then dying of starvation. I'm Doug Massi, and today I'm going to show you how to take your life insurance sales business to the next level by really simply changing a few things that you're currently doing. So please give the video a thumbs up. We do suggest subscribing if you're a new viewer to the channel. We're putting out insurance sales content and final expense sales training videos just like this all the time. Before I get into it, just in case you didn't know, I have to give myself a little commercial. My final expense agents do have access to what I believe to be the strongest preset calendar appointments platform in the entire industry. Thing is, if you want 30 appointments a day, not exaggerating, we can absolutely make that happen. A lot of insurance agents want to sell as independent agents. However, the problem that I see with most independent agents is that they've had bad experiences buying leads through lead vendors or even their upline, other IMOs. So they don't want to invest, their own money into their business. And stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to show you how to get the Overcoming Objections super file. This thing is pretty cool. It has scripts on overcoming different types of life insurance sales related objections in different type of scenarios. Other agents will tell me that they simply don't have, a couple $1,000s to invest into their business, which also tells me they're either not going to be good at selling or they just don't know how to sell, with leads. And something that I realized a long time ago was that anybody can come up with a couple $1,000s if they really want to. And if you really can't, then you're probably not the type of person who can sell either. If you can figure out a way to get the money, you can figure out a way to close sales. Talented sales professionals, that's just it. They know how to do this. Meanwhile, people who aren't very good tend to struggle constantly, and I hate to say it, they're generally, the type of agents who go from agency to agency, always looking for a magical lead program, that unicorn that's gonna suddenly turn them into a closer. Here's what I'm getting at, guys. Tip number one, if you're not used to having success at sales while working for yourself, you're not used to having a six-figure income at least, you need to change things immediately. What I suggest is that you find somebody with a history of sales success who's willing to spend time and actually work with you. By simply learning how to use straight line selling and mastering the art of looping, which is what I do, your sales game is going to pretty much change overnight. So tip number two, if you haven't read The Way of the Wolf recently by Jordan Belfort, read it again. It should now become your salesperson's Bible. But don't just read it. You got to implement the strategies in the book to your sales presentation and system. And yes, a lot of that, guys, is simply mindset. Unfortunately, people who haven't had a lot of success, people who don't have the awards, the accolades, the top salesperson label, tend to inadvertently think that their success is basically limited or out of reach. No. This is fake news. So now what they're doing is they're buying leads that they can't close, even good leads. They think it's the leads that are bad. And instead of doing the work on themselves internally, and really learning how to sell, they think the problem is something outside, something other than themselves. Maybe it is the leads. Maybe it is the upline. My upline's not helping. Maybe it's the agency. Oh, I contracted with the wrong agency. Pretty much everything that's not the problem. I've probably said this over 100 times, and I'm probably going to say it another 100 times before my day goes by. Some of your best sales should come from people who give you an objection when you go to close them. It's just, that's life. Those are the laydowns. Becoming a stronger closer is 100% necessary if you're going to have success. Again, if you're not solid at closing, get help. Figure it out. Work on yourself. I know that I work with my independent agents personally to this day. And when an agent asks me to do something like maybe, give them some feedback, listen to one of their sales presentation, I'm gonna do that, absolutely. And I'm gonna actually give them, number one, number two, number three, these have to be fixed and immediately, like now. I mean, a good trainer is gonna hop on like a Zoom call with that agent, and what I'll do is I'll see if I can't help them to change what they're doing immediately so that they can actually, increase the closing percentage from wherever they're at, whether they're brand new or been doing it for years. Here's another tip. Listen to a recent recording of yourself making a sales presentation. I'm telling you, you've gotta do this throughout your career. Listen to the recording and write down what you hear that doesn't sound solid. Like some of the stuff that new agents, newbies do is they say, or they say, are you hesitant? Do you sound smooth and professional? Is there any doubt in your voice, especially when you go to close? Do you know how to close? I hate to say it, most don't. Let's talk about TOR, time on the rail. Now, most independent life insurance agents kind of fail because when we are left to our own, it seems to me that most people will naturally try to do as little as possible, even if it costs us things that we love and or need. Are you putting in 10 hours each day trying to sell? I mean, are you really doing it? Most people don't, and most people won't. And if you can't take your insurance business serious enough to put in the time that it takes to make a decent living, you gotta change this soon. I mean, how are you gonna earn six figures if you don't put it all out there? Having a good work ethic will always be a determining factor for your success, and is always gonna be the difference between the highly successful agents and like the insurance agents who earn like $40,000 per year. You've got to develop the skill set for your success. You got to put in the work. Find somebody who has the skill and ask them for help. Invest into a leads platform each week and don't give up. You got to buy fresh leads each week. You've got to make that type of a commitment. Push yourself, make necessary sacrifices, and one day you'll never have to sacrifice anything ever again. Now, let me close with something that I heard at an insurance convention a long time ago. If you're living in the United States and you're not consistently earning at least $100,000 per year, a six-figure income minimum, that's like living in the United States and not being able to make a decent living. It's kind of like walking into a grocery store and then sitting down on a bench and then dying of starvation. And again, guys, of course I'm not saying that success comes easy, because again, it's only gonna come with sacrifice. Question is, what are you willing to do today to become more, to become better, so that later, again, you don't have to sacrifice? For a copy of the Overcoming Objections super file that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. If you'd like more information on my preset appointments platform, which, guys, it's only for serious life insurance agents, shoot me an email at that same address. As always, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there, and whatever happens, make sure that you do something good for someone else today. Happy hunting.